It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey everyone, happy Thanksgiving to you if you're from North America. If you're not, we're celebrating a holiday starting tomorrow for a couple of days. Steph, I'm going to see a movie today. What are you going to do?
I am cleaning my house because I have company for the first time for Thanksgiving. One of my friends is coming to stay with me for a few days, so I'm like trying to make my house look like it's fit for people to be in it. But yeah.
Well,
yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
I was going to say that Thanksgiving movies are, I always went to movies on Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, that was the thing that we did because, you get tired of hanging out with your friends and family and, you kind of want to see movies. And I know you're a big movie buff.
Yes. So something I've noticed the past couple of years is that there are a ton of like Thanksgiving horror movies. And like there's one in theaters right now. And then there was like one, I think it was called like Thanksgiving. It came out in like the early 2000s, I think. It was about like a killer turkey. But there's also this one on Hulu that is like just, I think the budget was like a bag of Cheetos. Like the budget did not exist, but it looks so funny. I would love to watch it. So I wanted to show you the trailer as a Thanksgiving present.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to be having some folks join us for Thanksgiving?
We're going to send somebody out here. They're going to teach us how to dipping from the olden days.
What do you say we break the wishbone?
1, 2, 3. I can hardly wait. Me too.
How do you do?
You're having pilgrims here?
It's a full reenactment of the first Thanksgiving.
This doesn't feel right.
You have a wonderful family. We are here to show you what you had. Are you grateful? Happy Thanksgiving!
Families are still important in America.
What are you afraid of? It's just Thanksgiving.
If you're tired of hanging out with your family, you'll watch anything.
Yeah, literally anything. So yeah, that's on Hulu if anyone wants to watch it. It's I don't know.
Have you seen it yet? Have you actually seen the whole thing?
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. It is what it is. And I think that for a Thanksgiving horror movie, that's all you can ask for. And then also there's another one in theaters that I think is just called Thanksgiving, and it's got just like TikTokers and stuff in it. So I don't really know what that one is. Okay.
I was going to show a video of this, but then I decided I don't want to blow it for anyone that hasn't done this yet. But I rode the Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Disney World.
It's yesterday. So good, right?
I don't know. I don't want to tell anybody about the thing that happens. That if you've not ridden it yet, that you don't know that happens. Because at first I was like, "Oh, this is just like Space Mountain," and then like as soon as I said that, something happens, and you're like, "Oh my God, this is like incredible."
Do you know the story about it from when I rode it for the first time?
No. Did you get sick?
I rode it with work people because we stayed in Orlando after InfoComm this year, like an extra day so we could go to Disney. And Anne Marie is scared of roller coasters. And we told her, we thought, we were like, yeah, this ride's not a roller coaster. Like, it's fine. She's like, I really don't like Space Mountain type rides. Like, do you think I'm going to be okay? We're like, yeah, you're going to be fine. Like, we didn't really know, like there wasn't like a ton of information out there on it yet. But so we just like assumed, we're like, yeah, no, it's fine. And so we split up. And so Kelsey and I get on the ride first. And so our cart leaves and we're like, okay, this is fine. We didn't lie to Anne Marie. And as soon as the ride starts going, I'm like, Kelsey, I think we told a really big lie. She got off the ride.
But if you haven't ridden it, we don't want to blow the secret because it is not a normal roller coaster. It's not. Like unbelievable. I still think Rise of the Resistance is better, and we're going to go ride that tonight.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna go to a movie this afternoon because it's kind of bad weather out there. But hey, speaking of a ride, in a way, it's related to our esports show. We have the industry's first live esports show, as you may or may not know now. It's called the rAVe Esports Show with Bubba Geddert. Bubba is really well known in the gaming industry, and we've already done 2 episodes of it. The second episode was critical for our industry. It is AV solutions for esports arena. It is the AV stuff that goes into an esports arena and sort of where we play. So the first show, episode 1, was all about the data, like how big the market is, where the opportunities are. The second show was all about the technology. If you want to catch up, scan that QR code. Definitely go watch the show. We do it live the first and third Thursday of each month at noon. I hope that you'll join us in December. We have a great lineup. It's exciting. That show's going really well. I'm excited with it. Steph, I know you must be happy as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's going so well. And I think this is just a really exciting thing for us to be able to get to do, and kind of, get into this market that a lot of AV people haven't had the opportunity to get into or figure out yet. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah. That's why we're doing it, is to help you get in that market. We felt like we should have done that 10 years ago or 12 years ago with digital signage, and it took us a lot longer to get in the market. So we're going to do our part.
Mhm.
Hey, I had a chance to go to Extron and actually get a personal, prior to them launching this product, get a personal demo and also understand the positioning of this product. It's a brand new column array speaker, and
cool.
the headline I put is Extron enters new speaker market with the killer new column array speaker. And that's because it really is different than anything else. So a lot of column array speakers are aimed at live events. So this one is for installs in large meeting rooms and classrooms and auditoriums. And here's how it works, Steph. If you, in a normal install like that, you got to put in ceiling speakers to do distributed audio to fill the whole room. All right. And the audio, and this is really important for those of you who want to understand what's different about it. All of those have a cone where they throw the audio, and there's a lot of overlapping in those cones, right? So therefore, some people get much louder. There's also some audio issues when you have that overlap potentially, and also you don't get the same level of audio depending on where you're sitting and the same quality. In fact, we have the problem in one of our classrooms where we put in distributed audio in one of our new classrooms that seats 50. We're in the back right corner. They're having a problem hearing because the back and the sidewall are both glass, so the sound is bouncing around back there. So here's what: if you have an application where small rooms, this is easy to solve. You put in program audio. We just put left and right speakers in the front and throw audio. But if you have a bigger room, that's harder to do. This column array stacks, and I forget exactly. I think it's 17 or 19. I have to look up the article. It's all on our website at ravepubs.com. Speakers together. And what happens then, Steph, is it actually, because the speaker normally makes like this, okay? Well, the top and bottom compress the middle. So you have, with a column array, imagine the speaker is mounted here. With a column array, instead of getting this, right, you get a cone like this, you get this. So it goes straight out. So if you aim it straight at the audience, everyone from front to back gets the same level of audio. So whatever level you have it on, everyone hears it exactly the same, no matter how deep the room is. So if you have a 150-foot deep room, everyone gets the same quality and level of audio. You don't have to crank it up or down or adjust the levels for each zone. And it's a great way to put in a speaker where you need one for a large room where you can't put in distributed audio. So you don't have ceiling tiles. You don't have the ability to mount distributed audio all over the place. It is phenomenal, and it does work. It sounds really good. I don't really know how to explain it to you other than what happens, because the top, it's almost like it creates a compression bubble so that instead of it's going out, it literally stays straight. The audio waves stay straight. And as long as you're inside that line, it's going to sound great. So if you're laying on the ground or you're sitting on the ceiling somehow, it doesn't sound great. But if you're right there in the middle of it, it sounds awesome. So it's a very unique application for a speaker where you can't normally put a speaker, which I think is really cool.
That is really cool. Thank you for explaining that to me. I was having a hard time based on how I was looking at the story. I was like, I don't know how this works. Like, I think it's cool, but I'm not sure how this works.
One thing they did too is they mechanically built 2 different mount options for it. built into it, so you don't have to change anything to mount it two different ways.
That's cool.
It's really neat because you can swivel it, you can tilt it, so it's got pan and tilt basically built into it. It's a good design and interesting stuff. You'll be really excited to hear this was designed and is manufactured in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
right down the road from us.
Yep. Exactly.
Well,
so we got a message from one of our sponsors, Legrand.
And you had mentioned you had mentioned oh, we should have gotten into digital signage a lot quicker. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
This is a little bit about their digital signage solutions. So rAVe, as Gary and I have told you before, they are a glue company. They have so many brands under the Legrand umbrella brand. And they have so many solutions that include things that support displays, media players, content creators, all from across this idea of digital signage. So they're used in places like quick serve restaurants, retail, basically anywhere you can put digital signage. But they offer a collection of diagrams, digital signage diagrams. So you can check out the right solution with the diagram collection that will help make lasting impressions through technology that connects people, spaces, and experiences, and kind of figure out, do I need a single display? Do I need a kiosk? Do I need a video wall here? This kind of helps you figure all that out. So definitely go and check that out. You can do that by scanning the QR code right under my talking head here. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of digital signage, 22 Miles with Content Manager version 7.5 has added AI to the content management system, and there's 3 different benefits of this specifically for digital signage. They have an AI assistant, so that if you're using their content management system to drive content, let's imagine you're in a Verizon store and you're looking at a phone. That AI assistant allows you to talk to it and have questions answered. The other thing they've added is AI that can tell you whether or not there's inventory, as well as AI that'll actually send content based on who's staring at the display. So those 3 features have been added to the Content Manager version 7.5. So if you're a 22 Miles client or customer or integrator, then that's already available to you now.
Very cool.
Did you happen to watch I doubt you did. I mean, you have to be a big fan to watch that Formula One race because it came on at 3 a.m.
Yeah. So no, I did not. I missed it.
My daughter's boyfriend is a huge racing fan, and he did stay awake, and he said it was incredible. It went really, really well. It's the first time, a lot of people in Formula One were against the U.S. Hosting a race. And there were lots of little problems leading up to the race.
Right.
During one of the qualifiers, one of the cars ran over a manhole, and there's 500, when you have that Formula One car racing down the road, there's about 5,000 pounds of pressure lift as the car goes by. There's push. First, when the car is going by, there's push down. And as the car leaves, it lifts up. So one of those little small, not the big manholes, but one of the small manholes that, where you access you've seen them on the roads, they're about this big, popped up and hit the bottom of a car as that lift was happening. So it had little problems like that. And a lot of Europeans were saying, we shouldn't have hosted this race. But they did, it was at 3 a.m. because Europe is where the biggest fan base is, and they wanted to put it in prime time there. But it went really well. But with regard to our industry, a lot of people saw the stuff that was there, and I thought we'd show you a quick video here of what that track looked like, because this track is filled with our technology. The entire track had LED, and as the cars would drive by, the LED would follow the cars, and the drivers would know what place they were in because the LED was in real time. But also there was a ton of other technology there. Samsung provided obviously a tremendous amount, worked with Liberty Media, who brought the whole thing to life. For example, that F1 logo on the rooftop of where the cars came in to get, to pull, or to get repaired, I forget what the term is now, all of a sudden left my mind. But when they need to have, change tires and stuff like that, that was a 481-foot rooftop F1 display. Wow. Why am I forgetting the name of that? Not poles to start. What is that called, Steph, where they come in? Anyway, there's the famous sphere. But in any case, Samsung had a big part of this. We have the whole story with exactly who did what on our website at ravepubs.com. Go check it out now.
Yeah. Well, Smart Technologies added a new smart board for education, which is cool. They've been making smart boards since I was in middle school. I want to say it was like the first time I saw
Since
one.
1987. 1987 stuff.
So that was
where were you in
before.
1987?
Yeah.
Where were you in 1987?
Not on this mortal coil yet.
There you go. See, they've been making them since before you were born.
Yeah. But I remember the first time I saw one was in middle school. And like the first time they started like deploying them in Harnett County was when I was in middle school. So this one is this called the RX series. It's got optically bonded glass and a multicolor stylus for inking, and it adds student device integration into the platform. So it's just kind of like the next level of smartboard. Basically, like, you know, students all have like personal devices in schools now. So it's like becoming more integrated and like needing to have, you know, this very easy way to link that with the front of the room. So very cool.
Yeah. And I'm sure if we kind of talked about AI just a minute ago, I'm sure if you've been paying attention to the news, you heard about the fiasco over at OpenAI last Sunday last Friday, while Sam Altman was actually at the Formula One race. He got fired. The founder of OpenAI got fired by the board. He then took a role at Microsoft to run their AI strategy. And then this morning at 4 a.m, it was announced that he is back at OpenAI as the CEO. So what a weird amount of stuff that has happened in the last less than a week. This morning they reinstated him as CEO. He's back as CEO of OpenAI. OpenAI, the company, ousted all the board members except for one. They kept one of the board members, and now he's back running the company again. It's almost like this is going to be a TV show. Somebody's already said, you know what, we're gonna write this up because this is
what's going on over there? Like, are you guys okay?
I don't totally know, but I think it's an interesting story. But we have the deets at launch.com /launch code, which is our newsletter that covers emerging technologies like AI, and you can see the quotes from everybody and what our take of it is. Hey, it's an evolving story because he just went back this morning, so that'll have to be added. But it's a weird thing. It's AI is affecting everyone, but this is sort of like the soap opera part of AI.
Yeah, that's really weird. But I mean, I just feel like that's like not a good look for business if you have like so much unrest and stuff like that. That's like not a good.
Well, something's going on behind the scenes that we don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. Something's happening behind the scenes, but
exactly.
But anyway, we do know about Aver USA. That's one thing we do know about. They're one of our sponsors, and their VB342 Pro smart frame technology leverages AI. Speaking of AI, to frame participants' faces so that when you're moving around, it keeps them in frame, and can also be switched between headshots and half body modes, like waist up shots to set up various meeting scenarios. And it's a video bar product. That's why it's the VB Video Bar 342 Pro. They've had some great video bars, and we have the details at ravepubs.com, or you can scan that QR code and get caught up on all of that. So check it out.
Cool.
Thanks for Aver for sponsoring Rave TV, as well as you said earlier, Legrand. So what's our next story, Steph?
So let's talk about LG's new charging stations. I think that was a pretty interesting story that came out last week. So LG Electronics is now entering the US electric vehicle charger market in 2024. So it's got a line of AC and DC powered EV charging stations. So I thought that was very interesting. Like, there have been a few companies that have kind of tried to like dip their toe into this market. But more and more people are driving Teslas. So I guess we just got to keep getting into that market.
It's not just Tesla, though. I mean, you got BMW, you have Mercedes, you have a ton of upstart companies, Polestar, you have Fisker, you have obviously all the Tesla products, but you have Honda, Toyota, Kia, Hyundai, all with hybrid or electric products. with 2 different standards, right? But they're all starting January 2025. In case you're wondering, all of them will work with the superchargers from Tesla. So you'll have the NBAC standard, I forget which one it is, that National Charger Association of America, some NCAA, I don't know, but whatever it is, that standard, and then you have the Tesla standard. Well, they'll be able to work together in January 2025. In the meantime, you'll have sort of like 2 competing standards. But a lot of people say, why do you write this up? Why are we doing these stories? Look, here's the thing. We are technology integrators. And if you're working on a big corporate client and you're doing their entire facility, and they say, by the way, our parking lot, we need to put 20 charging station, which, by the way, if they have 2,000 employees and they're in California, they have to put in 200 charging stations.
Interesting.
And one day it'll be such that you're putting a charging station probably at every single parking space as a benefit for your employees. But why wouldn't we put those in? And also, some of these charging stations, thanks to companies like Peerless, have kiosks with digital signage built into them. So we should be stewarding our industry into different directions, which is why we cover this product line.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that, we're just going to keep melting into different industries that it doesn't seem like AV would be part of. But as it goes to show, like we continue being part of many, many other industries. So it's important that we keep, it's important that we keep like our finger on the pulse of like everything that's going on within technology, because you never know when it's going to become your business. So next story is from PPDS. They've got some new Philips signage, also known as Philips. Yes, Philips display, PPDS. They have new 3000 Eco Design series. These are LCD monitors. And these are for, front of the room, like within a meeting space, like, medium to large conference room space, because they have these in 50, 55, and 65. And the nice thing about these is they can go in portrait or landscape, which we're seeing a lot more with these kind of meeting room displays. It's got, it complements its other line, the Q line series that's already out, but this is like a redesigned, repackaged, eco-friendly
in fact, the packaging, it has very little packaging. It has very little impact on the environment. In fact, I think they say that this is nearly zero impact on the environment because everything is recyclable and biodegradable. Which, that's why they call it the Eco Design series. It's not just the product, but the packaging. PBDS has this sort of global initiative to make everything, and I forget the year, I want to say 2030, everything is going to be like that they have.
I think it was like 2030 or 2050, but yeah, I think, or maybe 20. Yeah,
well, there's a big difference between 2030 and 2050.
Yeah,
I hope it's 2030, but maybe it is 2050.
Like, but that's hard to structure an entire business and make it completely like net zero with like carbon emissions and waste.
Yeah. Have you bought the new? Have you purchased the new Apple Watch by any chance?
No.
So that's 100%.
Is it in like a packaging?
It's 100%. Yeah, that's the first product that is 100% completely recyclable, and the packaging is biodegradable.
Cool.
Very little packaging, but the iPhone is next. That packaging, I forget which one. I want to say the iPhone 15 Pro Max might have that as well. So they're kind of going through the whole product. They say by 2030 that everything there'll be a complete net zero impact. They're putting solar panels on the roof of every single thing they own. There'll be complete net zero impact to the environment as an organization. I think that's going to be something that a lot of big companies, you'll see that from Sony, you'll see that from LG, you'll see that from Samsung, you'll see that from Epson. All the big companies will jump in on what Philips is doing there.
I agree. And it's nice that there's an organization in our industry now that takes this seriously and is like, pushing for these regulations. So if any of you are interested, go look up SAVE, and that's the Sustainability and AV organization. It's pretty new in our industry, but they are doing some really great work. They're going to be at ISC. They also have a conference coming up in March. So definitely go and check them out too, because they've got a lot of really, really good resources for becoming a sustainable AV company. So yeah.
So we have a video we want to show you from our sponsor, Shure. As you know, they're our third big sponsor that has supported rAVe TV since the very beginning. So check this out from them.
We're talking about a few different speakers today. And the next new set of speakers we want to talk about, these are for your house. This is from Snap One. This is a new episode line of home theater speakers, and they look really nice. Gary knows
they've upgraded them. They've
I am
upgraded them a lot.
so against tower speakers. I have them in my house and they sound great, but I hate the way they look. I'm like, oh, I just wish I could mount these on the wall.
These tower speakers can be mounted on the wall too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool. I mean, it does. You have to be one of those audiophile, high tech looking, because it is in your face, right? It's like putting technology in your face. Is not like hiding it. It's sort of like the iPhone versus the watch, the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is a little bit more hidden, detected right there on your arm, but the phone is right there in your face. It's the similar kind of thing. You have tower speakers, but you can mount them on the wall. Someone who's an audiophile will probably take the grill off just so you can see how cool they look. That's the picture actually they showed you, Steph, in that story actually was with the grill off. But you'd probably put the grill back on. You can paint these grills too, by the way, so they blend into the wall.
I really like them with the grills off, I think.
Because therefore you do have an appreciation of that look of tech.
I do. I think that I just don't like the ones that I have. I think mine are Polk Audio, which they're very nice, but they are just huge and big and clunky, and they're just completely the black kind of fake wood, which doesn't match anything in my house. I think that's what I don't like.
Yeah, it's known as MDF. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it huge or is huge?
Yes. They're big. And then I also have a sub beside them.
Yeah, that's hard to hide. I think the best looking sub in the market has to be Sonos. I think Sonos did a phenomenal job making their sub, considering the price, look really good. It kind of doesn't look, it's not a piece of art or anything like that, but it doesn't look ridiculous sitting in the room like a big black box sitting in the room.
And I don't want to not I don't want to not have a sub,
hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And I thought I was going to hide this thing, and I'll put it in the cabinet, but I did, and everything rattled inside the cabinet. So I had to take it back out of the cabinet. So you can't just hide these things; they have to be out. But in any case, hey, we got some. We're going to be covering some in person. We have one more big trade show, I should say, two happening at the exact same time in just 2 weeks. DSC, or we'll be done with it in 2 weeks. So less than 2 weeks, 10 days. DSC and LDI will be happening at the same time. We have a pass for those of you who still have not decided about going, or maybe have decided but haven't registered. You can use our pass, which is rAVe, rAVE. But if you're not going, we got you covered. We're going to cover the show. Easy to see our coverage. Go to ravepubs.com/ and then either put LDI or put DSC at the end of that, and you'll see all of our coverage. Steph, you looking forward to going to Vegas?
I'm I love going back to Vegas. And DSC and LDI are fun shows to cover. And
LDI specifically,
LDI is awesome, and we're covering that in a lot bigger of a way this year. So I'm super excited to get to spend some good time on that show floor, because I haven't gotten to do that before. So looking forward to it.
And we're all heading over. We got 20 some of us going over to ISE. In Barcelona now, ISE 2024, the third time the show's been in Barcelona. Registration is open. We have our own code for that.
Yeah,
it's rAVe Europe with 2 E's. rAVe Europe.
All one word.
Scan that QR code. We would like for you to use our code because we want to show the power of rAVe TV in our audience. So if you'll please go and register. If you're on the fence about going, go ahead and register. It gets you in the show for free, gets you in every single hall for free, and it gets you in when the show opens all 4 days. So it's pretty cool. So check that out. We do have a couple of upcoming. We do have, I should say, one upcoming virtual event on December 19th. ProAV Wrapped. Do you want to tell me about that, Steph?
I sure can. So ProAV Wrapped is just kind of talking about this has been a really wild year for AV. We've just kind of entered almost this brave new world of AI and capitalizing on that for our jobs. And so it's talking about things like that have kind of defined this year in our industry and what trends might define next year. So it's going to be about virtual production and, like I said, AI, digital signage upgrades, UCC shifts, and a few other things. And Megan is going to be hosting that, Megan A. Dutta. And right now the guests are Kevin McDonald from Peerless AV, Xavier Killikelly from Bose Professional, and Heather Sidorowitz from Southtown Audio Video. So we've got some great guests, and we're just going to kind of talk about like everything that has gone on this year and how that will continue to define our industry. So very excited. You can go ahead and register just to save your spot, put it in your calendar by scanning that QR code. So we are looking forward to it, and we can't wait to see you there.
Excellent. All right. Well, look, that's a wrap on our show. We are finishing up right on time. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving for those of you in North America. If you're not, have a good weekend as it's coming up, and we will see you next week on rAVe TV, noon on Wednesday. Everyone, thanks. Have a great day.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary.